All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you so much for joining us for the Living Learning Communities and Residential Colleges webinar this evening. My name is Amanda Moss. I'm the Outreach Manager for Residence Education and Housing Services within the Department of Student Life and Engagement, and I'm incredibly excited to be here to introduce my colleagues representing our various Living Learning Communities and residential colleges on campus. So with that, today, you can see that we're going to be starting with a brief moment from the admissions office. Our residential colleges will get us started with their presentations, and then we'll move on to our living learning communities and our special interest communities. I'll wrap us up with a few campus resources for all students, and then we will close for the evening. I do want to share this webinar is being recorded, and we will have it available on the Live On YouTube channel next week, and we will get that link available in the chat. As you may have noticed, the question and answer feature is going to be available tonight during the webinar, but we do want to ask that you hold off on asking any community-specific questions until the community you have questions for is finished presenting, as they're likely to cover information that answers your question in their presentation. If you have specific questions that aren't answered today or are for offices that aren't represented, you're more than welcome to contact the Housing Assignments Office, the Office of Admissions, or visit the website of the specific community you're interested in order to get answers or make direct connections. So that being said, to kick us off, I'd like to introduce Alex Landon, our Senior Associate Director of Admissions.
Thank you so much, Amanda, and welcome everybody. It is wonderful to see everybody jumping in and joining us for the webinar this evening. As Amanda said, my name is Alex Landon. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admissions here at Michigan State. And I want to kick off by just saying how excited I am to have all of you joining us here tonight. We're very excited. There's a lot of folks who are excited to talk to you. So I'm going to try to keep this initial welcome for all of you relatively brief. But I did want to just take a second to say welcome to all of you. And make sure that you know how excited we are that you're considering Michigan State as one of the options during your college search. We know that this is an incredibly important time for so many of you. And for us to be a part of that, we do not take lightly. And we want to make sure that as you're working your way through your college search, we're doing everything that we can to try to be as supportive as possible. And this event is actually one of my favorite virtual events that we do throughout any given year. And I'll tell you why, because one of the things that we really try to focus on here at Michigan State, and you'll probably hear this a lot of places, is that our focus is really on our student success. When it comes all the way from the way that we select our students in the admissions process, we are really trying to identify students who we believe are going to thrive and succeed as Spartans. And if you are invited to this program by just that measure, we know that you are one of the more than 60,000 applicants to our university that we've identified as someone who we believe can thrive and succeed in the Spartan community. And you will just understand through our presentation tonight exactly how important that is to us, because something that we know about our campus, and we're very proud of the way that we inspire our Spartans to succeed here. We're very proud of the graduation and persistence rates and the wonderful things they do after they graduate. But what we have found in all of our research is that the thing that really drives a student to persist and eventually graduate from college here at Michigan State more than anything else is whether or not they find community and belonging. And that's why this evening is such an incredible opportunity, because tonight you're going to hear from a wealth of communities across our campus that represent different interests and activities and beliefs and academic areas that are going to allow our students and you to find your place on our campus. Because we know that when that happens, that is what's really going to set you up for success. And we know that when we talk to our Spartan alumni, so many of them tell us that the connections that they build with their peers and their faculty members and their student advisors and their staff advisors within their organizations, those are the things that really stick with them through all of their time after they graduate. So we're going to be so excited to introduce you to these communities. I hope that whether it's tonight or whether you come to campus and you continue to talk to us, that you find those places where your people are and your place is, because that's really what's going to help you be successful on our campus. What we're always trying to do is make sure that every Spartan has every opportunity that they need in order to succeed. And we are really good at that. But what we need our Spartans to do is come to campus and take advantage of all of those opportunities. Now, for those of you who are working your way through the process, the only other note that I would make is that if you're sitting here and thinking about what do I do next and how do I continue to move forward, you've probably received information from us about completing your advanced enrollment deposit or paying your acceptance fee. And that's really the next step that you're going to want to take to claim your spot in the Spartan community. And if you do have any questions about that, or if you're working through your college decision and you just need help, please never hesitate to reach out to us. Our admissions office would love to be here for you, and you can call us at any point. But for tonight, we're really going to focus in on what these community opportunities are and how important they are to your success on campus. So once again, thank you so much for being with us. I can't tell you how excited we are to have you on campus. And with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Amanda so that we can get started with the real stuff. Thanks, Amanda.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Alex. We really appreciate it. So kicking us off tonight, we're actually going to start with a program that kind of has something to do with all the programs that we're going to be listening today. So go ahead and get started. We are starting with the Honors College and the Academic Scholars Program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bess German. I serve as the Assistant Dean of the Honors College on campus, and I am so glad to be with you tonight to tell you a little bit about the Honors College and also the Academic Scholars Program. We think the oldest honors college in the nation, and no one really argues with us about that. So we're fairly sure that's true, and we're almost 70 years old. So when you think about it, Michigan State has been thinking about high achieving students and caring for them and challenging them for almost 70 years. And I'm honored to work with this program and with these students who are excelling around the university. So I wanted to also mention the Academic Scholars Program, which is our pathway program for students who will join the university, who may be first generation in their family or Pell eligible, and also strong students that we want to encourage to take advantage of honors opportunities in their first year at Michigan State. So the Honors College is kind of a radical program in that it serves students across the whole university, and its main goal is to give high achieving students freedom and flexibility so that our students can take advantage of MSU. And what you might know about high achieving students is they often have multiple interests. So our students can be involved in any academic community on campus, and they choose from any of our residential colleges as well. So you can be in a residential college and be in the Honors College. They have the freedom to design their own general courses at the university. And so that's all what MSU calls our integrative studies classes. Our students take substitute classes for any of those classes they have remaining after applying their AP or IB or dual enrollment credits. And our students also get the ability to waive most course prerequisites. So this gives them the ability to take high-level classes even outside of their major. So it's a program that's based on freedom and flexibility, and we carry that freedom and flexibility into our housing options as well. So next slide, please. The housing options for Honors College students are necessarily flexible. We want our students to be able to say, yes, I'd like to be in the Honors College, but I don't want to live on an honors floor, or as will be the case this fall, in an honors hall. And so we have a decentralized view of honors housing at Michigan State. We want our students to live in a living community that works for them. So many of our students take advantage of our major residential colleges and also other living learning programs. So a student can choose to live on an honors floor in their residential community. They also, this fall, will have the chance to live in our first ever in 70 years dedicated residence hall for the Honors College. So that's very exciting. We're currently with our Res Ed and Housing Services partners renovating Campbell Hall for opening in fall 2025. And this will house 300 of our students. Now we have 4,000 students in the Honors College, so this will still have just a portion of our entering class and also some of our academic scholars and also some of our upper level students. But we're very excited about that. And I just encourage you, if you're interested, you have questions, please visit our website or reach out to me and let us know how we can be helpful to you in your search. And one last thing is, you don't have to be in the Honors College when you come in directly from high school. You also can join the Honors College after doing well in your first semester. So we hope to see any of you who might find this kind of lovely freedom and flexibility added to your program. We hope to see you in the Honors College. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Bess. All right, moving forward, we are going to get started with our residential colleges, with first up being James Madison.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joshua Smith. I am the recruitment coordinator as well as an academic specialist and advisor for James Madison College, which is MSU's residential college for public policy and international affairs. International affairs is a little bit more easy to comprehend as it is the study of international and global affairs. But we define public policy as the social principles for which dictates and in turn affects and is affected by law. So 20 to 30% of JMC students are recruited by top law and professional programs, both domestically and internationally, but we are not simply just a law feeder school. A lot of our graduates are field leaders in business, government, education, intelligence, international affairs and public relations, law, sustainability, and research. You can also see that there are 4 majors with endless possibilities. Global comparative cultures and politics is more of a global approach to studying societies and nations and looking at comparatively how they solve problems. International relations kind of is what it says. Political theory and constitutional democracy is a domestic, systemic look at some of the philosophical machinations of political thought, and social relations and policy is also a domestic look at the relationship between the United States and the citizens in terms of government. So you can combine courses with classes across MSU and look at other majors and minors as well. And when thinking of the Honors College, we are represented at 12 of the MSU 17 colleges and also have 17%. So that must be our lucky number in the Honors College. So here is just like a small fact sheet of what we provide as a residential college. And it might be helpful to look at this in some of my partners as well in relation to our counterparts at some of our bigger colleges at MSU. For us, we do study some of the social sciences or look at some of those subjects you would find in social sciences in more of a niche programming setting. So small college with huge benefits. Our average class size is 18 to 24 students per class. As the class size grows, we also would add sections to keep those classes small. One of MSU's highest post-grad placement rates. We're also termed a living learning community. So in the first year, students will live and learn in Case Hall. I'm actually on our 3rd floor as we speak, as we're doing this webinar. So you can be assured that your staff's offices, your deans, your faculty, they're all on the same floor as your classrooms, right in the heart of our residential college community. Our tagline is civically minded and globally engaged. So while there are many domestic opportunities here that range from the state capitol all the way to Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, we also have study abroad and away opportunities that are a part of the Madison student experience. And then lastly, we offer lifelong connections. If you graduate from James Madison College, you join a community of over 10,000 Madison alumni who also mentor current JMC students. And if you'd like to keep in touch, your next steps, you can always email us at jmcadmin@msu.edu and learn more online at our website, which is provided in the QR code on the slide. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Joshua. All right, moving next to our next residential college, we're going to get started over here with Lyman Briggs.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Dotz. I'm the recruitment coordinator for Lyman Briggs. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm also an academic advisor for the college. So I am going to just bounce off what Joshua said because he did a great job of an overview of residential colleges. A lot of the things are similar in that we have our students living in the same building that first year where our curriculum is set for the majority of their classes to be in that building. So this idea of building a community around your education. So you're going to class with the people who are studying the same things that you're studying, down the hall from where your academic advising offices are, where your career services are. So everything located kind of in one spot. Because of that, we keep our classes small. We keep our incoming class small. So we have an average class size of about 30 students, where our students are really engaged in their class content too. So our classes are very hands-on, they're very discussion-based, they're very participation-based. Instead of perhaps being in like a 200-person lecture hall, you're in a 30-person class where you're discussing not just the science that you're learning, but also how that science impacts the broader picture. So public policy behind science. How does science affect the government? How does it affect our economy? How does it affect the people that you're working with every day? What are the ethics behind scientific discovery? We call that science and society, and it's a main part of our curriculum in Lyman Briggs. We have over 35 majors for students to study, everything from kind of your biological sciences, chemistry, neuroscience, all the way down to actuarial science, data science. And we have the opportunity for students to be engaged in the areas that they're interested in while still getting that broader picture. Our students are also having lots of experience with research, education abroad and away, and getting that hands-on experience to make sure that they are loving the area that they're interested in. I'm ready for the next slide. If this sounds interesting to you, if you love the idea of building a community around your education and living and learning in a building where you have access to your resources and you might be more likely to take advantage of your resources, the next steps are pretty simple for Lyman Briggs. All you'll have to do is log into your beaspartan.msu.edu account if you've already been admitted to MSU, and make sure that that major preference is listed as Lyman Briggs. That's what's going to indicate to the Office of Admissions that you are interested in studying through one of the Lyman Briggs majors rather than one of the other majors at MSU. And then we are first come, first serve. So we are a limited enrollment major, and your spot is secured in Lyman Briggs when you make that advanced enrollment deposit, or your acceptance fee. We have about 100 spots still open. So we do have time for students who are still interested in Lyman Briggs to switch their major in the portal and make that advanced enrollment deposit. But we are really excited to bring in this new class of students. And my contact information, which I realize now is not on there, is lbc.recruiting@msu.edu. If you have any questions about the program, about your next steps, about where we're at in terms of a waiting pool, please feel free to reach out at any point. I'm the only person listed on the website, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of me. And that also will give you the opportunity for next steps in terms of scheduling a visit if you're interested. Thank you all so much. I'll be responding to any questions in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jackie. And if you want to pop your email address in the chat as well, that might be a good way to kind of get that out there. So thank you for that. All right, last but certainly not least of our residential colleges, we have ARCA, better known as Residential College for the Arts and Humanities.
Hi, thanks, Amanda. Yep, my name is Katie Crombie, and I am one of the recruiters for the Residential College in the Arts and Humanities. And just like Lyman Briggs College and James Madison College, we are also an academic degree granting college with the residential component. So this specifically would be a good fit for any student who's interested in anything in the arts and humanities, specifically students who are interested in taking their arts and humanities studies and learning about how they can really impact the world, engage with communities, learn about different cultures and identity groups and how those groups interact and how they can advocate for them. We're actually located in Snyder Phillips, which is in the North neighborhood area, very close to a lot of our other academic counterparts like studio art or music or theater, even psychology and sociology. So if you're interested in even double majoring, we have a lot of students who double major or minor or sometimes double or triple minor in addition to our degree. So it allows you to get both that breadth and interdisciplinary part of our degree along with the depth potentially of adding another major or minor into it as well. If you want to go to the next slide, Amanda. And then one thing that's really nice about the residential college part of our degree, aside from the academics, is that all of your resources are in one place. Again, just like Lyman Briggs and James Madison, you live in the same building where your classes are offered. So not only will you have smaller class sizes, an average class size of only 15 students with your ARCA classes, but you also have a bunch of creative resources that you can take advantage of right in your dorm building. So we have an art studio, we have a poetry center, we have a theater, we have a music recording studio, we have a digital media center. So all of those tools are at your disposal. And again, they're for you in your dorm room where you're living. We also have a fully functioning art gallery where visiting artists come in. So we try and provide lots of awesome resources for students to take advantage of their academic and extracurricular interests in the space where they're living, along with academic advisors, faculty members, the dean of your college, all being right at your fingertips as well. Similarly, if you're interested in joining the ARCA community, you do have to have arts and humanities listed as your major so that they can make sure that you are housed in our building and part of our community. You can do that on your application portal. You can also contact us or visit our website at arca.msu.edu. We do have individual visit dates offered weekly and daily, and we have some individual events that we'll be hosting throughout the spring. So feel free to keep in touch if you are interested in the residential community in arts and humanities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katie. All right, now we are going to be moving into our living learning communities, and getting us started is the Drew Scholars Program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Dominic Quinney. I am the director of the Charles Drew Science Scholars Program at Michigan State University. We are a living learning community housed in, excuse me, Rather Hall in the Brody Complex. We were established in 1979 as the Charles Drew Science Enrichment Laboratory. We are named after Dr. Charles Drew, who was a notable Black physician and researcher who looked at blood preservation and was a contributor to the major understanding of blood banking in the United States. Next slide, please. So we also, just to let you all know, we welcome students into our program by invitation. Usually our students are high achieving students or high academic performing students in STEM related spaces. We also have the goal of transforming the face of science with our program. So we really work to address diversifying the STEM talent pool and workforce. So if you look on your screen, you also notice that we are very much student-centered. Without students, we cannot thrive as an institution. So that being said, with student-centered work, we do academic advising. We also do academic coaching, career advising and resources opportunities, and as well as I mentioned, we are a living learning opportunity or living learning community. With those things in mind, we work to center the student with providing them with career-focused internships, the opportunity to study abroad, memberships in campus organizations. So we also have the Drew Scholars Organization as one thing that students can join as a part of our group. Is also being able to connect and work with faculty across the College of Natural Science. So we, again, are student-centered in mind. That being said, we provide the greatest level of support for our students throughout their time at MSU, with an emphasis on assisting freshmen and sophomores building a strong foundation. So again, we are a living learning community. And so in your first year, you will stay in Rather Hall and then have the opportunity to stay on campus in multiple places within the Brody complex. If you do have any more questions, or if you have any more info or need any more information, you can go to our website, drewscholars.natsci.msu.edu, or you can call our office at 517-353-8491. Thank you, and go green.
Go white. Thank you so much, Dr. Dominic. All right, we are moving into our next group here. Let's get ready to hear from La Casa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abby. I am an undergraduate student at Michigan State right now. I'm a senior, and I'm the development chair for La Casa, a new living learning community that is coming in the fall. So this is intended to be a Spanish language and culture living and learning community. So we're trying to create an immersive Spanish environment for people who want to continue their Spanish studies outside of class, for maybe international students who want to have that piece of home with them while they're here at the university, or for people who just took some Spanish in high school and maybe want to continue with their studies. So we're not limited by major. We are going to be in Shaw Hall. And I'm ready for the next slide, please. So one of the benefits to joining La Casa is that it's student-led. So there are going to be lots of events for people to have opportunities to connect with other Spanish-speaking students and kind of become more familiar with the cultures of the people around them. The sign-up process has started, so you can scan that QR code on the left if you want some more information about our application, and then that QR code on the right is our website. And then I'll also put my email in the chat to answer any questions. But this is a new program, so students who are involved in it next year are going to have the opportunity to kind of be from the ground up, engaging in a new program. And because of that, have the opportunity to kind of mold the program to their desires. So people can give input onto the kinds of events that they would like to have and the kinds of programming that they would like to have and what they would like to see La Casa become. So this is a really unique opportunity for students who want to continue their Spanish and also have a direct impact on the community that they're living in. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Abby. We're all very excited to see where this new community goes and how it develops over the next couple of years. All right, moving forward, we are going to continue with our residential business community.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sherry Henry, and I am the director of the residential business community within the Broad College of Business at Michigan State University. My pronouns are she, her, and it is a pleasure to be here with you today. As you can see on the slide, the RBC is a living, learning, and leading community. That's our tagline. So we live in McDonald Hall, and we have classes in McDonald Hall as well as in the Broad College. We're 2 doors down from the Broad College, and we focus on earning our leadership certificates and really working towards understanding what our leadership legacy is. The RBC experience prepares students to be business leaders and encourages professional development through the college experience. The community living experience assists students in acquiring relational skills necessary to succeed and lead in today's global society. Through a seamless environment of academic and experiential learning activities, students develop business leadership competencies in a collaborative, inclusive, multicultural environment. This program is available to students who are business-minded, so that includes students who are direct admit to the Broad College, as well as students who are exploratory business preference, and we even have 5% of students who are business-minded but in other majors. We reside in McDonald Hall, and we have 3 significant benefits. We're there to support students as they transition from high school to college. We're there to help students grow culturally and build their leadership and workplace competencies. And then we provide a huge network of corporate partners and alums for students to learn and to network with. Next slide, please. Thanks, Amanda. So you can see here some of the engaging opportunities that we have for our first-year students. And then we also have an option for students to stay for a second year as part of the community as well. If a student happens to be interested in this option, feel free to go to our website that's listed there, broad.msu.edu/RBC. And there's a little apply here button. Do it ASAP because we've already admitted about 100 students and we are limited and competitive to 300 students. The application is live and it will close early probably this year. We say it's open till April 15th, but it's first come, first serve. So we're making second round decisions this week. So if you're interested, I would suggest applying as soon as possible. If you are in the RBC, you are required to have an RBC roommate too. That's one of the requirements. So keep that in mind. And as long as your roommate preference is business-minded, it probably would also fit. Make sure that roommate applies. We do have scholarships. We have almost $500,000 in scholarships available. You may have seen announced in our news today. We just got another $1 million for RBC. So we're well funded And it's just an amazing program. Our scholarship decisions go to students who have accepted have been accepted and then have accepted our admission. And we give those scholarships out in June. So it wouldn't be prior to accepting RBC admission that you would know about scholarships. You would find out those in June and potentially July. And that's all I have. I'm happy to answer questions in the chat. Go green.
Go white. Thank you, Sherry. Really appreciate it. All right, moving next, we are going to our RISE Community Residential Initiative on the Study of the Environment.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jory Beadle. I'm the Assistant Director of the RISE program. I use she, her pronouns. RISE is really designed for first-year students who are interested and passionate about environmental sustainability in lots of different ways. We are housed in the College of Natural Science, but we serve all the colleges at MSU, so we really are open to any student who has a major or an interest that is aligned with environmental sustainability, conservation biology, fisheries and wildlife, agriculture, food systems. We really do span across the university. Usually our cohort is capped at about 70 students. We are space limited and we're housed in Bailey Hall, which is in the Brody neighborhood. This beautiful image here shows a picture of our Bailey Greenhouse and Urban Farm. We're big supporters of experiential learning in the RISE program. And so as part of that, we have lots of experiential learning opportunities, lots of co-curricular learning opportunities. Students that are in RISE have an opportunity to engage with honeybees and river study and work at Bailey Greenhouse and Urban Farm and some of the other South Campus farms that we're closely partnered with. New this year, we are offering incoming students scholarships as well. Up to $2,000 to $5,000 per semester for their first year. Students, similar to what my colleagues have been sharing, will be notified if they've applied to the scholarship by midsummer if they've been accepted to receive that scholarship. What we provide students in their first year is similar to what my colleagues have mentioned, lots of first year supports and networking around campus, identifying undergraduate research opportunities. And we also support students if they have an interest in pursuing the minor, which is the Environmental Studies and Sustainability minor, which is also administered through the RISE program. Next slide, please. If you're interested in applying to RISE, we do have an application process that's listed on our website. You can see our website there in addition to the QR code. Our applications are due by April 15th, but because we are space limited, we encourage students to apply sooner rather than later. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions via email. My email is posted there, and we look forward to processing your application.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jory. That's great information to share. I'm going to talk about our next two communities. We have first our Arts LLC, the Arts Living Learning Community. It is the heart of the arts at MSU. This is also located in Snyder Phillips in North Neighborhood. It's participating in pioneering initiatives, the realm of socially engaged art, and including weekly programming, which is kind of fantastic. It is an application process, so you'll want to apply by May 8th at the website listed on the bottom of the screen here. There's also a lot more information about the program itself, what students can expect, and kind of what students can get out of it by checking out Arts Living at msu.edu. Up next, we have our core engineering. Core engineering is our first year engineering experience for students. It is open for all first year engineering students, and there's not an application required. They're automatically enrolled. Traditionally, they are housed in South Neighborhood, predominantly Wilson, and they are super focused on student success, both academic, professional, and personal, as well as having a lot of resources that are important for first year engineering students available in their neighborhood. There are a couple of different academic programs that they're going to have to take as part of the core experience, and there are a few co-curricular programs as well. Very similar to all of our living learning colleges and residential colleges this year, all first year engineering students have to live with other first year engineering students in that program. So I believe it was mentioned with Sherry as well, but the LLC that you are a part of, you'll have to live with someone who is also a part of that LLC in order to make that roommate agreement work. All right, so shifting on to our special interest communities, we are going to get started with esports and gaming.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Christopher Bilski. I am the Director of Esports here at Michigan State University, here to talk about our Michigan State Esports and Gaming Living Learning community. So our main goal here with the community was to give students who are coming to MSU a place where they could find other students who have the same passions and interests as them. So our esports is open to any students. You can join as a single, you can join as a group of two, or you can join as a full group of four and split a suite. We're located in Hubbard Hall. And what's really nice about that is that our varsity esports facility, our larger esports facility, is just downstairs on the garden level of Hubbard Hall. So students who live in this facility have the opportunity to use that facility on a daily basis and come and meet and connect with other students. Next slide, please. So you can see a picture there of our Hubbard Hall facility there, 23 stations, 3 console areas. We do have open play opportunities every day except for Sunday for students. And then we also hold special events in the Esports and Gaming Center. So students can come down, meet others, connect, and really help to form community around esports and gaming. You can see that there was a link there for our application form, but if you want to email me directly, if you're interested, it's bilskych@msu.edu. I'll also put that in the chat to make sure that people can do that. But we would love to have you. We hope to see you in our esports and gaming living learning community soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Another newish community that we're very excited to see grow over the coming years. Moving on, we are going to check out the Detroit Made program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joy Hannibal, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the program director for the Detroit Made Scholars Program, and our program is one of 4 pathway persistence programs in the Office of the Provost Undergraduate Education. And our program is a cohort program that focuses on students' transition into college and throughout their journey at MSU. Our living learning community students live in their first year in Holden Hall, but our offices are in Bessie Hall. And our cohort for our first year students is about 60 to 75 students. And our funding is from Dan and Jennifer Gilbert, MSU alumni, and it's through the Gilbert Family Foundation. To be eligible for the program, students either have to be Detroit public or charter school graduates or Detroit residents. Next slide. So we offer a lot of different services, from peer mentors to supplemental advising to a first year seminar. I want to focus on our summer 2025 engagement. We bring students to campus twice in the summer as they're transitioning to MSU, and one is in June through our Detroit Made Welcome Days, which is free to students. And then the other way is through our early arrival program, where we bring students to campus early to help them with that transition. So if you want to learn a little bit more about our program, please come to our website. You can also email us at dtmade@msu.edu, and on that website is our application. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Dr. Joy. We appreciate it. All right. Up next, we have our recovery housing community.
Good evening, y'all. Thanks for having me. My name is Dawn Kepler, she, her pronouns. I coordinate MSU's collegiate recovery community as well as our on-campus recovery housing, and we are housed within the University Health and Wellbeing for our program. Recovery housing is an inclusive community for students in recovery from substance use disorder, where students can enjoy a real college experience and a sense of belonging. And our purpose is to offer the opportunity to form meaningful relationships based on sobriety, connection, and academic success. Here at MSU, more than 1,500 students identify as being in recovery. And we in recovery housing are located in Mason Hall, which is conveniently near Student Services Building, where the Collegiate Recovery Community Student Lounge is also located. Also wanted to share, we are so happy that MSU has the first on-campus recovery housing in the state of Michigan and the 4th in the Big Ten. And we really enjoy having this opportunity to provide this living community in the state of Michigan. Next slide, please. So some of the benefits of on-campus recovery housing include include live-in peer support. So we have a trained peer recovery support specialist who lives on the floor. There's also weekly community time available and organized activities. So some of these include opportunities to engage through the collegiate recovery community as well, which includes weekly peer support meetings, community service projects that students can get involved with, and wellness and life skills workshops. Also, another opportunity for students is scholarships through the Jamie Daniels Memorial Scholarship. And we also have availability currently for students, and you can get additional information here at this link as well as through the QR code here. And I will also share my email in the chat. If anyone has any follow-up questions or would like a tour, we're happy to connect. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great program. Thank you so much, Dawn. All right, moving forward to another newish community that we're excited to present, our Transgender Residential Experience, or TREX.
Hi all, my name is M. Wolf. I use they, them pronouns. I am the coordinator of transgender student support in the Gender and Sexuality Campus Center at MSU. And this year was our inaugural year of our floor Transgender Residential Experience, or TREX. So what this is an intentional community which centers the experiences, needs, perspectives, and joy of transgender and gender nonconforming communities, while creating experiences that foster healing, community building, and intercultural exploration. So we are, students who are often in this program are transgender students, gender nonconforming students, and non-binary students and their allies. We are located next year in the East neighborhood. If you want to go to the next slide. Some of the benefits of the community is that it's you can live in a suite style community where the transgender and non-binary experience is centered. You'll have access to weekly programs hosted by professional staff that build community, mental health skills, healing, and growth. And you'll experience a community with many other trans and non-binary students. To join, you can apply through the housing portal, and all new TREX residents must go through an application process. And if you want to learn more, you can visit the GSCC website and kind of find your way towards TREX, or you can visit Live On, or you can email me with my email right there. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Em. All right. So now we are going to move into a few of our special interest communities that were unable to join us this evening. So the first one would be our CAMP program. This is the College Assistant Migrant Program. It provides the best conditions to help camp scholars succeed in university life. It is a residential program and they live in Holden Hall. If this is something that's interesting to you, you are more than welcome to follow the steps listed here or check out the website mss.msu.edu/camp to go ahead and get more information and clarity on that. Another community that we have represented on campus is our College of Music special interest community. As College of Music tends to live in West Circle neighborhood in North. College of Music incoming students are assigned there unless they opt out. So if it's something that you are a College of Music student and you would not like to live in the music program space, you will want to email liveon@msu.edu. This is for any Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Music majors, including composition, jazz studies, music education, and performance. And it really just kind of offers the opportunity for music majors to live near their classes and other MSU music students. Up next, we have ROTC, or our Reserve Officers Training Corps. These students are located residentially in Case Hall, and they are all automatically assigned to Case Hall. When asking who it's for, it's MSU Army ROTC Spartan Battalion, and they're consistently in the top 5% of ROTC programs nationwide and recognized for producing some of the Army's best officers. So if that's something that you are interested in being a part of, the Army ROTC website is listed there on the bottom, armyrotc.msu.edu. All right, so now we are going to pop into just some general information for incoming students about this fall and living on campus. You are more than welcome to put any questions that you might have in the Q&A, and we'll see, we should be able to get to a couple of live ones by the end of this evening, and most of them should be answered in the chat as well. But what I would like to do is talk first about some of our Live On programs that we have. So all students that are a part of Living Learning Communities are also a part of, they can take part in Spartan Compass programs, whether it's student programming in the space or an actual, out and about program. But Spartan Compass is a program that we tend to run in the residential halls that helps support students really kind of transition to college. It's designed to foster connections and build community in the residence hall, again, for first-year students. They offer specific events. They have special staff available to support students. And they do relationship building and engagement and kind of promote student organizations in the space and leadership opportunities for students really to make the most of their first year on campus and kind of build that foundation. The second program we offer is for our second year students, and that is called Spartan Navigator. And very similar to how Spartan Compass supports our first year students, Spartan Navigator is specifically for our second year students. In addition to continuing building community and belonging and skills like that, they also help students figure out the next steps in their collegiate journey. They look at internships and job placements and things like that that can kind of start to come up more in your sophomore and beyond years. So Spartan Navigator is there. Again, these programs are available to both students that are in LLCs and res colleges, on-campus students, off-campus students, any of that, just to kind of offer that extra level of support. When talking about additional levels of support, many of you may have heard of our engagement centers already. An engagement center is available in each of the 5 neighborhoods. They are spaces where they really took all of the services that are critical for student support and success and put them within 150 yards of every student room on campus. Some of the features of the engagement centers are listed on the slide here, but they do have undergraduate advisors, a lot of free tutoring assistance, and help rooms. They'll have a lot of our gen ed classes or classes offered for specific majors. We'll have their help rooms hosted throughout campus and many of the different engagement center locations, and those are free for students to attend. We also have health services, both from CAPS, which is our counseling and psychiatry services, as well as our nurse practitioners available in those neighborhoods to kind of support students. One thing that's not mentioned on the slide is that they do all tend to have group exercise classes, which is a great way to meet people. And even if you're not a big Zumba person, the soundtracks are always on point. So definitely a fun thing to kind of listen to and hang out. If you see things for the engagement centers, you'll notice that most of them are labeled and managed through the Neighborhood Student Success Collaborative. So for more information about the engagement centers, the services they offer, and kind of just what more is available there, you would want to go to nssc.msu.edu to kind of learn more information there and ask questions. When it comes to residential support, in addition to the communities mentioned today, all of our residential students are going to be supported by all of the folks listed on the screen today. I can also pretty much guarantee you every single one of these line items has a 24-hour duty phone available to answer questions and concerns to be able to assist with folks. I will say our students that are in the halls are most likely going to be working with their assistant community director, their resident assistant, or their intercultural aide. Whereas parents, families, and support systems will most likely work with community director, residence director, or the assistance director. It's important to note that these are all both the intercultural aides and the resident assistants. They are both within the neighborhood, and RAs are on the floors, and they are offering a lot of additional student support, but they are also students as well. So that's kind of important to keep in the back of your mind. And one thing that I do like to share with incoming families is because of FERPA, if you are calling for assistance with your student and things like that, there are only so many things that we can actually discuss on the phone. So it's important to note that due to FERPA, we can't always even acknowledge the fact that your student is enrolled at MSU, especially if they're over 18. So just kind of keep that in mind if you have any questions or concerns. Emails are usually the best way to reach some of those team members as well. So moving forward, talking a little bit about the housing timeline. So the way that that is going to work is in order to kind of go through the process here, and this is going to be mirrored in your checklist on the admissions website as well. So you would need to pay your acceptance fee, and that is going to activate essentially your Net ID, which is your MSU email, as well as your PID, which is going to be your student identification number. Once those are activated, you'll be able to go into your My Housing account at our Live On website. And you will pay a one-time non-refundable $50 application fee. And that's going to give you access to the housing website, the roommate matching services, as well as the preference forms that you'll need to submit for incoming for spring. In order to live on campus, you will need to sign your housing contract. And in order to sign your housing contract, you would need to pay an advanced deposit to be able to sign that. And that truly is a deposit in the sense where it's $175. And then when you get your fall bill, it'll have that line item right there to kind of pull that off because it is a deposit. So we need you to sign your housing contracts to guarantee a spot on campus by May 9th. That is going to be, we usually try and say around the 1st of May, but May 9th is the last day to sign your housing contract to guarantee a space on campus. Then what will happen is in mid-May to June, you will be able to go through and share your preferences with us, what your preferred meal plan is, if you have a preferred bathroom style, if there is a community that you want to opt into, and that's part of their application process. That is also where you would put your roommate preferences. MSU does have a roommate matching service available, and we will send more information out about that towards the end of spring. So that way you can kind of look for different roommates there. Some students find their roommates on Instagram and Facebook, some within their community, and some use the roommate matching service that we'll have available. So that way you can get paired up. I will reiterate, as I said before, all students that are a part of an LLC community must live with other students that are a part of that LLC committee. I know in years past that hasn't always been the case, but this year with space and the interest and the fantastic communities that we have to offer, it's important to kind of keep in mind when you are looking at your rooming options that you're choosing to room with someone who is also in that space. I've also had a student or two who has thought, well, my best friend, I can't live with my best friend, so I'm going to change my major. And we highly recommend against that. That we definitely want you to be in the community that you're going to be most academically and socially successful in. And it's always fun to have friends across campus and other spaces to kind of build that community out even further. So back to the housing timeline here. After you submit your preferences, essentially, we're going to get back to you in about mid-June. And that is going to be when we share with you your housing assignment, your roommate information, and their contact information. And then in late August, that's when we will gear up for move-in and expect all of those green cards and new experiences and people to meet on campus. So lots of exciting things for there. I would definitely recommend kind of keeping these dates in back of mind. Another thing that's going to be super helpful is actually following us on Instagram or at MSU Live On. They post pictures of cool things that are happening on campus all the time, but they're also really great at reminding about deadlines and policy changes. And they're really great for if you have any questions and things like that that need to be reached out. In addition to that, on the screen right now, we have contact information for our housing assignments office, both phone number and email and website. A lot of the information that we discussed tonight having to do with the housing process and the steps required are all available on the Live On website. And we're always available to take an email or a phone call if you have any questions in addition to that. So that being said, it looks like we have just a couple of minutes here and we'll see if there are any, oh my goodness, we'll see if there are any good questions in the chat that we can kind of ask here. It looks like one of the questions was if any of these programs are available for second year students. And unfortunately, I can't give you a straight answer on that. It's a bit of a mixed bag. Some programs are first year student only, such as LBC, but there are also some students that accept more than one student, students after their first semester, after their first year, like the Collegiate Recovery Community and Recovery Housing. So if that's something that you're interested in, you'll definitely want to go to that specific program's website and make sure that you kind of have a full understanding as if they're a first semester only, first year only, or if you can join at a later date. So moving forward here, it looks like I got another one. Let me kind of go up here. In regards to the Honors College, a question was asked if all the invitations for the Honors College have already been sent. If you haven't received an invite yet, can you assume you won't be invited for fall 2025? So it looks like most of the invitations have been sent actually, and the website has information to send additional information if you feel that you did not receive an invitation and you should have. So definitely check that out. Another question we had is if a student is admitted for an engineering major at the housing options, does the student still need to choose engineering as residence, or will it be defaulted to that at housing selection? So engineering is fantastic because all first-year engineering students have to be a part of core. So it is automatically defaulted that once you designate your major to be engineering, you will be assigned a space in South neighborhood, mostly in Wilson and Wonders Hall. Students can opt out of being housed in the engineering core program, but most likely will be placed outside of South neighborhood. Which also means you're going to be farther from those first year resources and buildings and staff that are set up to really kind of support first year engineers through that process. I mentioned that one. So it looks like another question that we got was if there is an LLC for students in the College of Ag and Natural Resources. While a specific tie, no, but RISE is a great option. In general, MSU likes to give options and not move completely to college or major-based learning within those housing options. So some want to prioritize an LLC, some want to prioritize specific roommate selections, and having that available to students kind of lets them find the place that's going to be best for them. But I can reiterate, students in CANR, RISE is a great program. And with RISE, as was mentioned in their presentation, they take students of all majors and backgrounds that basically want to follow their passion while paying attention to sustainability and environmental considerations with that too. We had another question about how to get into the Spartan Compass program. Fun fact, you're already in it. If you are an admitted first-year student at MSU, you're automatically a part of the Spartan Compass program. You'll start to see their events and invitations once you get on campus in the fall. And so they'll post events. One of the events that they've done in the past that I really appreciated is they do like note-taking seminars. So maybe you had like a really great way of taking notes in high school, but it's just not translating to some of those collegiate level courses. They can actually go through and show you a couple different styles that you can take them that might apply more, better to like a lab environment or a lecture environment. So that's kind of an example of the programming they do, but that's going to be available to all first year students, both in the LLCs and res colleges and without. Another question that we had about residential housing was where do most first year students live? Everywhere, literally everywhere. I know in decades past that campus was a little bit more divided in terms of, oh, this area was traditionally first year students and this area was traditionally seniors. I can confidently tell you there was pretty much at least one person of every grade level in all of our buildings last year. Some of them are first year communities. For example, Lyman Briggs houses all of our first year Lyman Briggs students. So it's predominantly a first year building. But then we have other buildings that are available and open to all students to reside in. So I will say many non-LLC students do tend to live in East neighborhood just because that is our largest kind of area, like our largest residential area on campus that doesn't have specific living learning communities and res colleges in it, aside from some of the ones mentioned this evening. So they have a lot more capacity. So a lot of our first year students can be expected to find it themselves in East neighborhood. Another question we had, this one is one of my favorites. Is there a benefit to signing a housing contract sooner rather than later? There is not. As long as the contracts are signed by the May 9th deadline, you will complete your preferences and be assigned a space in a random order. There's not a benefit. You do not get a different place on the list. There's not more spaces available, none of that. Essentially what happens is students sign their contracts and then we go in through the system based off of their academic interests, as well as if there are any programs that they need to be a part of or enrolled in, and we kind of go through there. It is really important to note that we want to make sure that you're committed to MSU before you sign your contract and complete the fees and deposits. It's really important because that kind of helps us forecast housing needs as well as space. As you heard tonight, some of the communities mentioned are limited in space, and we want to make sure the right students are available and in those spaces. So definitely sign that housing contract once you're committed to MSU, so that way you can go ahead and get that done and move on to the next steps. I had another question in here. Once we are assigned to a room, do we get measurements of the room and furniture as well as what furniture comes with the room? We house over 17,000 students, so that means we have at least half as many rooms with that. And while most of the rooms are similar in size and square footage, every now and then you'll have something that's placed a few inches differently depending upon where they needed to run plumbing and electrical. So it's important to note that we share a standard floor plan for each hall. Those are on the Live On website, and there is a lot of information in there as to what comes in the room and what to bring. There are also going to be a lot more admitted first-year student events and webinars as we move through the spring and the summer, and we'll get really into some of those details the closer we get to August. So yet another reason to follow the Live On Instagram, so that way you can stay updated on things that are coming up and more information as it comes. Well, it looks like we have hit our time for the evening. I want to thank you all again so much for coming and getting information with us. And if you haven't already, be sure to pat yourselves on the back. It's an incredibly competitive process. And for you all to be admitted to MSU and excited about coming, it goes to show all of the amazingness that you put into your high school careers and your academics and your involvement in the community. So we are incredibly excited to see you this fall. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Go green, friends. Have a good night.